What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your second stimulus check update. And I'll tell you, it's cold out here in Northeast Ohio. We've had to have our heat on already. The nights at night are, I should say, the lows at night are almost in the 30s already. Let me know if you guys have your heat on already, because oh my gosh, has some cold nights out there. I guess it depends on where you are in the country, but I don't expect to have my heat on this early in September. It's still supposed to be, Indian summer and, warm days. Summer is just seems like it's gone already, but you guys can let me know where it is, how it is where you are. All right, let's get to some stimulus news. Number one is there's a new urgency that is probably going to propel the stimulus talks, the stimulus negotiations to get us a stimulus check and an unemployment extension a little bit faster. And that is the problem with the airlines. Apparently, the airlines called up this week and said, oh, by the way, we need billions of dollars more in stimulus money. And if we don't get it by October 1st, then we're going to have to lay off hundreds of thousands of Americans. And yeah, we basically need stimulus money right now. United Airlines and its industry unions have sent a letter urging congressional leadership and Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin to restart critical negotiations for the next stimulus package. The airline and the unions are also asking that the latest stimulus package include a clean 6-month extension of funding for the payroll support program, which requires airlines to keep their employees on payroll through October 1st. Without additional funding for the PSP grants, up to 16,000 employees of the United Airline family alone are at risk of involuntarily furloughs beginning October 1st, United Airlines CEO Scott Kirby wrote on Friday. Continuation of this critical program would prevent the furloughs and provide additional time for the industry to reach recovery without losing our colleagues to unemployment. While United says it is working around the clock to reach deals with its unions and to avoid as many involuntary furloughs as possible, the airline warned that they will be unavoidable without additional financial support from the federal government. See, the problem is that a lot of people are still not traveling. A lot of people are scared to get on airplanes, which is basically an enclosed area, because they don't want to catch the virus. And a lot of people are basically just staying at home and still kind of quarantining themselves. And this puts many industries, not just the airlines, at risk. And if these industries don't receive more stimulus, the airlines especially, almost by next week in a few days. If they don't get it, there's going to be over 100,000 people between all the different airlines laid off. And that is going to create a new urgency for stimulus because Congress has to pass stimulus fast to get the airlines money, or else not only could they lay off 100,000 or more people, but they also could go bankrupt without more federal money. And this is basically just going to provide more urgency to Congress saying that they need to do a stimulus package like next week to get money not only to the airlines but to millions of Americans in need. Also, we have many more millions of Americans who have just lost their unemployment benefit bonuses from the federal government. So I think we're going to see a lot of movement this week from Congress. Nancy Pelosi says, in addition to airlines, that restaurants are also in need of more money, which may provide stimulus for a lot of small business owners who own restaurants in your local city. U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said Friday that the airlines and restaurant industries both need help that could be in another big economic stimulus package. Her remarks at a weekly press conference at the U.S. Capitol followed similar comments by White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, who was also one of the two Republican negotiators, on Thursday, and mark an uncommon area of agreement amid stalled negotiations for a second major stimulus package. She says there are more needs that have emerged. So, isn't it crazy that Congress needs a push from the airlines and maybe the restaurants to get us more stimulus? Nancy Pelosi, she's like, oh, I finally see the light. I finally see that airlines need more money. So now we should pass a stimulus package. We have to do it this week before the airlines run out of money by October 1st. Yeah, you're thinking the same thing I am. I know. It's okay. You can say it. Go ahead, we're all thinking it. The other big emerging news story this week is the passing of Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg and how this might affect stimulus negotiations and also might affect the election coming up. See, the way Supreme Court justices are picked and elected is the president nominates someone for a vacancy of the court, and the Senate votes to confirm the nominee, which requires just a simple majority, which is 51 votes. Remember, there's 53 Republicans in the Senate, so the Republicans can basically just pass any Republican nominee from the president. So he can just elect somebody and the Senate can just basically pass it right away. In this way, both the executive and the legislative branches of the federal government have a voice in the composition of the Supreme Court. The qualifications to be nominated does not specify age, education, profession, or a native-born citizenship. A justice does not have to be a lawyer or a law school graduate, but all justices have been trained in the law. Many of the 18th and 19th century justices studied law under a mentor because there were few law schools in the country back then. This is forming up to be a big showdown versus the Democrats and the Republicans because the Democrats have almost no power because the president can just nominate whoever he wants to be as a Supreme Court justice and the Senate can pass it without any approval of the Democrats at all. This is a big level of contention for the Democrats because, as you can see here, the Supreme Court justices stay in there for life, and we already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 9 judges being Republican and only 4 being Democrat. But now this seat is now up for basically renomination, which President Donald Trump is obviously going to appoint another Republican. This will be the 3rd Supreme Court justice that President Donald Trump has got to put in their seat within the last 3 years since he's been nominated. There is some rumors that Nancy Pelosi might say to the president as a form of negotiations that if they wait to appoint another Supreme Court justice until after the election, that she will hand him the stimulus package that he so urgently wants. If she hands him the stimulus package right now, he basically gets to pass out stimulus checks and unemployment extension right before the election. On the other hand, if she doesn't do that and the president nominates and passes a Supreme Court justice right now, then that Supreme Court justice is in there for life and will be a Republican for life. So we're definitely going to see a lot of jockeying and positioning this week regarding the stimulus package, the stimulus checks, and the renomination of a Supreme Court justice before the election, unless there's negotiations made for either the airlines, the restaurants, or the Supreme Court justice nominee this week before everything happens. I will keep you guys updated as new information comes out, so make sure you've subscribed down below and make sure you've hit the like button for us if you haven't yet. You can click on these videos to watch my newest stimulus check videos next. And this video teaches you how to start a business selling products on Amazon FBA. I have students that have replaced their entire 9 to 5 income selling products on Amazon, and I teach them how to do that. Click on one of those videos to watch them next. Thanks, and I will see you in the next video.